The Elgato 4K60 Plus aims to be the gaming content creator's best friend. It features a next-gen encoding chip built right in, true lag-free pass-through, and the ability to record 4K 60 frames per second gameplay footage with HDR10 support anytime, anywhere, all into a single SD card. What's up fellow geeks, Zaki here from Geek Culture, back for another video. This time we are going to take a look at the Elgato 4K60 Plus. Like many things that go on in our channel, gaming videos are indeed an integral part of it. In a traditional sense, capture cards have always been more of a peripheral than an actual device. There simply wasn't a solution for capturing 4K footage on the go, or having to email or share massive raw unedited files, which made capturing gameplay incredibly inconvenient and impractical. And now, with next-gen consoles being able to push out native 4K at high refresh rates, it seemed to us that there needs to be an easier way to record gameplay hassle-free. One very noticeable problem for us is that we struggle with the PS5's WebM video file format. We've been using the PS5's inbuilt recording system, and this WebM video file format just makes it extremely hard to work with on editing speeds like Premiere Pro. Even with third-party plugins, the WebM file format still causes crashes on Premiere Pro, and this makes it such a hassle for video editors like myself. So I needed to find an alternative solution for this problem, and that's where the Elgato 4K60 Plus came into the picture. So with that being said, why don't we unbox this and check it out? But before we continue with this review, do consider subscribing and smash that bell icon so you can be notified whenever we upload new videos. Yeah! So when we first got the Elgato 4K60 Plus, we were surprised by the size of the packaging. I mean, if you look at it up close, it's actually pretty large. When you open it up and slide it out of the box, you will be greeted by a brief quick start guide that tells you all about the functions of the capture card and how to set it up. And right out of the box, you can see that this is the Elgato 4K60 Plus. You can see some very nice patterns over here, as well as the Elgato logo obviously. And facing the back, you can see that we have a few ports over here, starting with the HDMI in and out ports, as well as two USB-C ports. One is for power and one is to link up to your PC. And moving to the front of the panel, you can see that we have the SD card slot, as well as the touch capacitive record button, as well as the 3.5mm line in. Out of the box, you also got your main power supply, along with a slew of international adapters. That's a lot. With that said, all of the adapters are a simple snap-on and snap-off function, like so. Yes. Which makes this whole package great for portability. And lastly, in the box you get three cables, one being the HDMI 2.0 cables and your two USB-C cables. Right, now the best part about this is that all the cables have a nice premium feel to them and they're even gold plated. So you know you're getting the good stuff here guys. And that's all there is to it honestly. It's really meant to be a standalone game capture card device. So once you set all of this up, you're good to go. Now it is recommended that you use an SDXC card. That being said, Elgato recommends an SD card that has at least a UHS Class 3 or a V30. Now, it is also important that you get an SD card that has a higher storage capacity. We're talking about at least 128GB to 256GB. You could also use a micro SD card with an adapter that has the recommended class and storage capacity. Of course, you could also use up to 1TB of storage capacity, but over 1TB have not been tested by Elgato and they may not work. So you should be able to get 6 to 7 hours of gameplay footage at 4K 60fps on a single 256GB SD card. And you can either format it to FAT32 or exFAT. Keep in mind that FAT32 is going to split your files into every 4GB. Or if you're like me and prefer to just have one chunky file, then exFAT is the way to go. So now the beauty of the Elgato 4K60 Plus is that it's a standalone game capture device. This means that you don't have to plug it into a PC. So all you need to do is plug it in, pop an SD card, hit record on the touch sensor, and you're good to go. It's easy as that. And if you're a streamer and you want to use a PC, you can do that too. You can wire your 4K60S Plus with the additional USB-C to USB-A cable. You can record it standalone on your PC and capture gameplay footage direct to the SD card. Alternatively, you can use the 4K60S Plus with third-party broadcasting software like OBS and XSplit, so you have some flexibility there. Now, one good thing about the 4K60S Plus is that it not only records in 4K 60fps, but in HDR as well. So if you're playing HDR, you have the ability to do that. It basically records whatever you put into it, so if you're playing HDR, it records in HDR. You also have the option to record in SDR, so you can still use this to record 1080 or even 2K on PC. It is fully supported. Now, we've been using the S Plus as a standalone with the PS5 as both a way of recording gameplay footage to an SD card and as a pass-through device to play games on the TV. And doing either of those things, we absolutely had no hitch, and in fact, it actually works better than we expected it to. Now, it's worth noting that this has a lag-free pass-through feature if you just connected it to a TV or a bigger screen. But other than that, well, it's not really lag-free while live streaming. So you will need to offset that in your live stream software so that you can be in sync with your webcam and your audio. Now, another neat feature about this device is that you're able to control the bitrate and recording settings, such as recording it at RAW 4K. Now, it really goes a little more into the technical side of things where you actually have to edit a settings.txt file in the SD card itself, which Elgato automatically places on the SD card. So you're probably asking yourself what happens when you're recording and reach the end of the card capacity. So the 4K60S Plus will leave about 90 megabytes or so free so it can properly finish off the file. Afterwards, the recording simply stops, but it will not be corrupted. So hats off to the folks at Elgato for really creating this very neat feature. The file size is manageable and editing suites like Premiere Pro works very smoothly on it. Not to mention that all the gameplay footage you're seeing in the background are all shot in 4K 60fps. So it's really a fantastic product coming from Elgato. Of course, this comes at a very hefty price tag of $400 which might sway some buyers, but this is definitely a godsend when it comes to live streamers and content creators who want to bring their capture capabilities on the road without having to lug around PCs or figure out wires and splitters. Now, the 4K60S Plus is definitely the best in creating gaming content and perhaps more. Its standalone performance is perhaps what's considered, well, at least for us, is the most ideal option that gives you the tools and power you need. For its convenient size and weight, and to its standalone recording without needing a PC, makes this probably one of the best capture cards money can buy. So yeah, that's it for this video. We hope you enjoyed this one, and if you found it helpful, do give us a thumbs up. What do you think about the 4K60S Plus and perhaps other Elgato products? Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, do consider subscribing and smashing the bell icon so you can be notified every time we upload a new video. Yeah. Until then, this is Zaki signing off. Adios muchachos.